Yeah, we had a really good support from the Cajun community on Thursday for our annual pink game, as well as Pups at the Pitch, and that always enhances the environment regardless of who the opposition is, and puts you on the front foot when you know that you've got a big crowd there cheering you on and watching you play. So coming into the game, we knew that it was going to be an important game and something that we wanted to try and make sure we started aggressively on, and we had some really key opportunities in the first 3 and 4 minutes that we didn't miss. But what was really nice was to see the temperament of the group, to make sure that they stayed level-headed and to stay persistent, and then capitalise so soon after a couple of missed chances, because we know in the past sometimes that's been our Achilles heel, is we get some early chances, we miss them, and then we kind of failed to capitalise on those moments as the rest of the game goes on. So once that first one went on, and then we got a really good goal right before halftime on the corner kick from Chloe Mueller, and that gave you some momentum going into halftime inside the locker room. And as soon as you can get that kind of cushion going in at halftime, I think that sets you up well. So we were able to set some things up for the second half to make them have to chase the game, and I think we were able to catch them on the counter a couple of times in the second half, which ultimately led to such a great performance for the team, and to play as many players as we did and get so many new players some valuable minutes in conference. I think that turned us over well for Sunday's game. And when you turn around and play in St. Marcos on a Sunday at 1 o'clock, it's always going to be a tough game, especially against an offense like Texas State. Same again there. We got up early in the first half, and we're going into the locker room at halftime at 1-0, and then it's thinking of a game plan, because you have it in your mind of what it's going to be, and hopefully you're going into it and you're finishing the game towards the end. But instead that we had to change the game plan a little bit and take away some of their strengths to make sure that we were utilising what areas we did have in order to go and be successful. And ultimately we done quite well in the second half, and their goal was really just a really good goal. It was a great ball from their outside back and a great header from their forward, and those are the type of goals that when you look back at, if those are the opportunities that teams are either beating you or equalising you on, you can take your hat off to them, because it's a really well-earned goal rather than a mistake. So I thought the group had a chance at the end there to win it and try and take all 3 points, but essentially 4 points over the 2 games on our side of the bracket is valuable as we go into the last 4 games, trying to position ourselves as best as we can for the conference tournament.
You got 4 points on the road in your last 2 road matches. That has to bode well for you toward the end of the year and going into the tournament.
Yeah, we hope so. Obviously, back-to-back games are tough. So going, back on the road again this weekend to James Madison is going to be a tough one. I think in their last 2 games at home, they scored 9 goals. So they're definitely perennial offense in the conference for sure. I know they've kind of had some tough results on the road. They tied App State 1-1 this Sunday, and Troy the weekend before that. But they're a different body at home. They've got some confidence. They know their field. They know their environment. I think they set themselves up well. So, same thing right now. Points make prizes. Everyone's trying to get that 8th spot to get into the tournament. Top 8 goal in such a competitive group of 14. So we'll go into it with a game plan and figure out how to nullify James Madison's strengths, how to utilize ours, and see if we can capitalize on some key moments in the game on Friday night.
Talked a lot about your team has a lot of opportunities and gets a lot of shots, and you kind of felt like that frustration was building among the players of not being able to close some of those deals. Thursday night against Southern Miss, your team did that in emphatic fashion. What kind of was the mood in the locker room overall after that win?
Yeah, I think that it was really rewarding for the group to see that. We talked a lot over the past kind of 3 or 4 games to just stay persistent, even from the start of the season against South Alabama, where we still had some really good chances but didn't capitalize. And it was really just, turning up every day, making sure we paid the rent every single day. And if we can do that, then eventually it's going to reward us for being present and working hard. And it was nice to see that. Obviously, Southern Miss came to our field and played a different brand than what Georgia Southern and Arkansas State did, and I think that helped us. I think that opened them up a little bit and gave us more space to play rather than having so many players defend the box. So I think it played in well to us on Thursday, and I think it gave us a bit of confidence going into Sunday's game as well.
And kind of piggyback on Sunday's game, that's a very good Texas State team, and you talked about having the opportunity, felt like, to take all those points there. Kind of, what do you feel like that does for your team going into a very tough game against James Madison?
We take it one game at a time. So I think the players are obviously, as much as we've not discussed it because we're taking one game at a time, I think they know that Texas State, James Madison, and Old Dominion are the 3 toughest games on our schedule back to back to back. And in order for us to go into James Madison, it was important for us just to fully focus on Texas State. And I think that's what rewarded the group. I think they were a little frustrated at the end to concede a goal with 15 minutes to go and then walk away with a point. But I think that shows the growth and the mentality of the group, that they're seeing a tie at Texas State, which is the first positive result this program's ever had there, as somewhat as a bit deflating. And I think that's rewarding because now we can really dig our heels in. And hopefully if they can level themselves up to have the same mentality on Friday, not go in too overly confident, but not go in and be as passive to the reigning Sunbelt champions, that if we can execute a game plan and take care of our business, then maybe it'll give us some momentum to going forward. And the biggest thing for the group right now is that they're very adaptable. They're able to change their plan and be able to execute on a variety of different methods right now. And I think that's our biggest strength.
Natalie Mays, we did a post-game interview with her after, about her shutout in Naho's program with 12 shutouts in her career. She immediately turned all of her attention and all her thanks to her defense and her teammates. Kind of talk about that, the type of selfless player she is. That's a career goal that she's going to carry with her, career achievement that she'll carry with her forever. And immediately the spotlight was all for her, and it was all thanks and gratitude to her teammates and to her staff. Kind of talk about her and what she means to the team.
Yeah, I think when you've got a goalkeeper that kind of rewards the people in front of us, it's huge for the team, because obviously defenders don't get much recognition. If it's a shutout, it goes to the keeper, and if you win a game by lots of goals, it goes to the forwards. So the defenders are kind of the unsung heroes of the group. So I think it's really important. She's always done a great job of utilising and celebrating her back line on all the organisation and all the blocking and tackling and helping her set up to go and command her box and blocking players so that she can come and collect crosses and win those 1v1s. So she knows the value of teamwork. She knows the value of others being around her, and she knows the strength that others can provide her, and she can provide the rest of the team as well. And she's a very smart, intelligent young woman who can execute on her individual skills, but can also make someone feel really good about themselves. And I think that alludes to how well the defense has been playing over the past couple of seasons.
Your last 4 matches are sort of spread out. You got a few days in between each of them. How much of a benefit is that toward the end of the year when fatigue's a factor, injuries are a factor?
Yeah, it kind of levels out a little bit, because obviously both teams that play get the same rest and recuperation. So I think what's nice is that the way it's scheduled is we're away home. So, we move into the last game of the year and we're at home. So as ULM are picking up to come here, they're going to be on the road. And same for Old Dominion. Old Dominion were on the road at Marshall. They go on the road to Georgia Southern, and then they come on the road to us. So I think one thing about our group that's always been great is our durability. We don't really have many injuries right now. There's some people carrying some knocks, but availability is the best form of playing the game. And we've got everyone available right now. We're able to roll through a lot of players on Sunday at Texas State. We're able to do the same against Southern Miss. And that's always been a strength of the group, is been able to be resilient and be able to push through at the end of the year. And the biggest thing for us is now just taking it one game at a time. And if we can prepare for that Friday game at James Madison, then we'll be in good shape.
Kind of piggybacking off of that, with 4 games left in the season, 2 at home, 2 away, what's the point of emphasis for your team heading into the end of the regular season?
You're still taking it one game at a time. We don't want to be in a position where we're at last year and coming down to the last game of the year and having to execute or even worse, relying on someone else's results. So there's no hiding amongst the staff, and I think the players are acknowledging the tough opposition that we've got coming into the year with James Madison and Old Dominion and then Troy and ULM. But really, we have to take it one game at a time. If we lose focus and we start thinking about games past that, we're going to lose sight of what it is, and then you stop building the momentum. You lose your focus a little bit, and if we can stay present where we were on Sunday to get that result and take the good things from there and tweak those little things that we've just slipped up on there towards the last 15 of the game, we can carry that into James Madison. It could be successful because we could frustrate them at their home field, and I think that was one of the biggest things on Sunday.